Leo de San Juan de Letran won over Indian Colleges in 5 sets, securing that number 4 spot as they head towards the semifinals tomorrow. In a moment, the La Salle College of Saint Benilde contra Southern Storm Melbourne. Final game, University of Santo Tomas contra Ho Chi Minh City volleyball team. You can catch the Shakey Super League National Invitationals live and free on pusupi.com. Join the community now. You can also watch on Shakey Super League Facebook page, on TV at Solar Sports, and at Shakey's restaurants nationwide. And that was Quick Set, powered by Smart Power All 109. For the Southern Storm Melbourne, one of our international guest teams, the past 2 games was pretty challenging, especially after failing to secure a set contra University of Santo Tomas. But the Lady Blazers are back on track, sweeping the defending champions Letran Lady Knights yesterday, winning in straight sets. Second showdown of the day, CSB contra Southern Storm Melbourne. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. We are back in action here in the Ninoy Aquino Stadium. Daphne Cristobal with Richie Cordero. And the Richie earlier, not an easy battle we've witnessed, but Letran just bagged that 4th spot. And in a moment, no, makikita natin kung paano ulit kukuha ng panalo. Ito ang De La Salle College of Saint Benilde with a 3-1 record together with Southern Storm Melbourne. So we can say that this is sort of a battle for that second spot. Either way, sila ang maglalaban bukas sa ating Final Four. But right now, let's talk about the previous match of the CSB Lady Blazers. Took advantage of the rattleness, yung confusion ng Letran kahapon, winning in straight sets, 25-16, 25-21, and 25-21.
It was indeed such a convincing display of mastery when it comes to talent. Showdown itong College of Saint Benilde, and of course, we really see how mature they've played in their previous games. So we'll see how they will play out here against the Southern Storm Melbourne.
Our Player in Focus is presented by pusupi.com. Join now for free. Cams Bartolome is back in her comfortable position when she was still part of the Bacolod Taytong High School program. As a middle blocker, the past 2 matches, back-to-back double-digit production. Kahapon, a dozen of points coming from 10 attacks, 2 blocks. Kontra Indra naman, 19 points, 14 attacks, 4 blocks, and 1 ace.
Definitely a player you can lean on when it comes to consistency and when it comes to basic, because she will really shake things up when it comes to trying to defend the attacks coming from this girl.
Meanwhile, having a strong introduction for the fans of the CSB Lady Blazers is the super rookie Monique Sullivan, currently one of the players with a massive production here in the league, a total of 55 points here in the tournament. Actually, one of the top scorers nga, as what we made mention.
You know, definitely the person who has been shining is Monique Sullivan, really stepping up and embracing that role, especially with seniors departing like Clyde Katarig and Singh. She has really embraced every opportunity to produce the most points for her team, gaining the confidence of her teammates.
Meanwhile, after a solid showing here in the past 2 days, noong first 2 days, itong Southern Storm Melbourne stumbled against University of Santo Tomas, unable to secure a single set, 20-25, 14-25, and 9-25. We were talking about probably nung day number 3, nagkaroon din sila na exhaustion after that 5-setter win kontra Ho Chi Minh City kahapon. Naramdaman natin they didn't play their usual fast plays. kahapon, mas nag-struggle din sila kontra University of Santo Tomas.
You know, it's a shorter tournament. Your play will really be mastered, especially when it comes to Southern Storm Melbourne, with adjustment of course, not playing in their home country, but they're really doing a good job in this tournament as our third rank in this game.
But as always, there are some players who has been paving the way, and itong si Sammy Pila, she tallied 13 points against Ho Chi Minh City, and against USD, she was just silenced by 3 points.
So we see how our players here for Southern Storm Melbourne were actually very limited in their games against USD, while they were producing double-digit points for their previous game against Ho Chi Minh.
So we've got players like Bella Smith, Hillary Hannigan, who has been chipping in a double-digit production. But like the way you made mention, Richie, kontra UST, naging limited nga lang yung production nila. But there's this one player has been very consistent for Coach Carlo. The silver lining is Cleo Anastasios. Last match kontra UST, she was a top scorer with 9 points off from 8 attacks and 1 block. In that first set, Richie, she was one of the better showings in terms of the scoring. When her teammates were struggling, she remained very calm for her team.
So it was a great adjustment there for Anastasios, and composure also to remain consistent in her game, even though the outcome was like that in their previous game. So I'm sure they had a lot of preparation, especially today. Southern Storm Melbourne actually had a tune-up game against Mapua in our court here in the Ninoy Aquino Stadium this morning, although that game ended 2-2. So walang fifth set kasi baka daw malate na sila in today's game. So I'm sure they had a little bit of warm-up and learnings coming from that game that will be played out here.
Coming up next is our second game in just a moment. CSB Lady Blazers taking on Southern Storm Melbourne. Huwag po kayong alis.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All. New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
Presenting our official Sports match. First referee, Invitationals. Our second referee, Erwin Lucordero. Volleyball action continues here inside the Ninoy Aquino Stadium. This is the Shakey Super League 2026 National Invitationals. It's match number 14 of the preliminaries between the De La Salle College of Saint Benilde Lady Blazers and their challengers across the net, the Southern Storm Melbourne. Let us now meet the starters for both teams. First, for the De La Salle College of Saint Benilde Lady Blazers. Let's start with our outside hitter, number 1, Grace Borromeo. Middle blocker, number 2, Cam Bartolome. Setter and her team captain at number 6, Zen Basilio. Opposite hitter, number 11, Kaylia Zes. Middle blocker, number 15, Majoy Inocentes. Outside hitter, number 18, Monica Soliven. Starting libero, number 4, Rhea Tomas. Head coach of the Lady Blazers, Jerry Yee. Now let's meet the starters for Southern Storm Melbourne. Let's start with our outside hitter, number 1, Sammy Bila. Middle blocker, number 6, Isabella Smith. Opposite hitter and her team captain at number 10, Isabella Matichevsky. Middle blocker, number 12, Steph Baker. Setter, number 17, Zipio Wane. Outside hitter, number 20, Rebecca Bacall. Starting libero at number 7, Mila Smith. Head coach of Southern Storm Melbourne, Carla Machoni.
Who will secure the number 2 spot? Let's find out. Starting 6 for CSB Lady Blazers, Basilio, Bartolome, Inocentes, Oliven, Borromeo, Lieses, and Tomas. Sa kabilang panig for Southern Storm Melbourne, it is Yohan who will orchestrate the offense on their side. Smith, Baker, Pocock, Pilla, Matichevsky, and it's Mila Smith to defend that defense or that floor defense para dito sa panig ng Southern Storm Melbourne, eyeing to bounce back after that heartbreaker against University of Santo Tomas, the number 1 team so far in our tournament. Never dropped or lost a game here. This set is brought to you by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and mojos now. Set number 1 underway. Daphne Cristobal with Richie Cordero and Kylie Esses with an early introduction against this Australian-based squad. Yon to Matichevsky. That will sail out. You talked about earlier, Richie, on top of our broadcast that Southern Storm Melbourne had this tune-up game against Mapua. So it was supposedly a 5-setter match, but then they didn't play that 5th set. That was sort of a warm-up for them.
Yeah, it was good because it's also exposure to Philippine systems or volleyball systems that have already proven themselves here in the collegiate level, giving them a taste, more of a taste, coming from the Philippine side of volleyball.
Talking to Nigel, the team manager of Southern Storm Melbourne earlier, he mentioned that in Australia, they're not used to having collegiate teams or collegiate schools going up against one another. So this is a composition of various club teams, around 5 to 6 club teams that came as one to represent Melbourne, Australia, and to get this experience to go up against local teams here in the Philippines.
So it's really a global stage of exposure for these girls. For Benilde, they get, of course, that international standard also coming from Australia, while Australia also getting that exposure for the Philippines. Basilio now to Lieses. Blocked there by Smith.
That's really one of the core strengths of Bella Smith. That net defense, height is might, but in that sequence, if I'm not mistaken, that was Pocock, who'll be part of the starting 6 this time around. There's this deep bench, which Coach Carla has for Southern Storm, with Sammy Pilla. The past 2 games that they had, where they dominated those games, it has been Sammy Pilla, the consistent contributor for their team.
So we know these two teams are very talented when it comes to attacking. So their floor defense will need to stabilize going against each other in today's match. That is Sullivan, our super rookie, for that point. Already an intense matchup when it comes to our outside hitters.
One hand set by Yoan. Tomas to Soliven, the super rookie on a roll once more.
Back-to-back points here for Soliven. This time around, that was a down-the-line attack, given that she had a bump set coming from their libero from Tomas.
2-point advantage for the Lady Blazers, eyeing to continue their momentum in that win against the Letran Lady Knights. Zen to Borromeo, one of their favorite plays. Some activation from the back row. Tomas, underhand set, peeking Soliven once more. Would love to see those wrist actions. But speaking of wrist actions, that will unfortunately sail out.
Attack error there for Southern Storm Melbourne. With good effort, that was a bit too low. Oh, I think
that was an error from the back row, crossed the line, pero ito Kylie SS unable to get it across.
attempting for that short serve. Bella Smith now on deck to serve for Southern Storm Melbourne.
Basilio to Bartolome. That will not go over. Solid denial.
Southern Storm just taking advantage of that height, that reach they have in the sense of blocking the attackers of Benilde. Now, this is preparation also for Southern Storm, given that Benilde has very notable attackers.
You know, as always, whenever it comes Bartolome attacking as a middle blocker, no, ang ganda lagi ng pasok niya eh.
Exactly. I think sa approach pa lang matatakot ka na pag si Bartolome yung papasok. This time, Sullivan on deck to serve.
Super rookie. With that service, they pick Pocock. Nice net defense for the Lady Blazers. Off speed this time. Basilio to Borromeo. Net defense is insane for Southern Storm. Unable to chase that leather. That attack will work for Monique Sullivan as she'll be bringing the CSB Lady Blazers in the first technical timeout.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
You're still watching the 2026 Shakey Super League Collegiate National Invitationals. This is our set 1 for our second game. CSB Lady Blazers versus Southern Storm Melbourne. Well challenged here by 4 big points after that solid block point by Chris Borromeo.
No entry for Matichevsky because Borromeo had that perfectly timed on that block.
As Nigel mentioned earlier, for Southern Storm Melbourne, the team is actually appreciating the faster-paced volleyball daw dito sa Pilipinas. But in that play,
Makikita natin pinapantayan din that quick attack coming from Baker. Service error coming from Matichevsky.
Nina, we also discussed na mabilis nga yung laruan itong Southern Storm Melbourne, pero in contrast to that, sila yung nakaka-appreciate na may ganun tayo. But aside from that, no, yung defense daw natin, As if everyone is really moving, not just relying on the liberos. I told him na probably because our height is shorter, so we have to be
closer to the
quicker.
floor.
That Smart Power Up Play was brought to you by the new Smart Power All 109. Load now. I also asked if they were able to try some Filipino food or delicacies. Nigel said they like pusit. I like pusit.
Pusit.
Yeah, pusit. Squid.
You know, I think it's also because Australia is known for seafood, so they're still appreciating that similar taste coming from the Philippines.
Probably they realized it's cheaper here in the Philippines.
No attack error there from Baker. No 4 touches will be called on the side of Southern Storm Melbourne. Score is now 12-7 in favor of Benilde.
In the past games, it has been Edgley, the main playmaker for Southern Storm Melbourne. Right now, it's Yohan who will try to give some confidence to her spikers.
Baker now on deck to serve. Second service error there for Southern Storm Melbourne.
You know, this is how Southern Storm Melbourne also played in set number 1 yesterday, wherein they were really having a difficult time
Limiting.
to initiate some offense on their side, but I'm not sure if it's exhaustion or probably just trying to connect with one another once again, but this time Sammy Hilla will be earning it from the left bin.
You know, that set also came from the opposite side of the court. And Pilla just had an amazing adjustment there. Better first ball for CSB. Yes, it's from the back.
Yes is scoring from the left side.
Innocent is now on deck to serve.
Yohan goes to the middle, and Bella Smith earning that point, seeing that donut hole.
Right in the middle of all the defenders for CSB. Walang nakabasa nun.
Just a 4-point game all of a sudden here in set number 1. Test of consistency if you're the Lady Blazers. Bartolome, corner pocket is good.
This time Bartolome finding that corner spot for that point. So well distributed points here for both Benilde and Southern Storm Melbourne. Regalo don para kay Bartolome.
Back-to-back points for Cams Bartolome as she'll be bringing the Lady Blazers into our second technical timeout.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
The Southern Storm Melbourne hoping for some game changers here in set number 1. And just like what we're talking about, Anastasios will be inserted in. She'll be replacing their team captain, Bella Matichevsky. Let's see how she could spell a difference here as they are trying to tie things up here. They're down by 6 points.
Anastasios as the bright light from their previous game. We'll see. Oh, but CSB will remain victorious and maintaining that composure.
That's actually 3 consecutive points coming from Cams Bartolome. Smith with that perfect reception. Anastasios off the bench.
Yeah, from a cold bench play, now you see her immediate impact when she is placed and given trust by her setter here. That's Yoan.
Loaded service with Sullivan adjusting to it.
Beautiful
Still a point.
Beautiful placement there coming from CSB. That's Sullivan.
A super rookie with a solid contribution for the Lady Blazers. It's 18-11.
Make that back-to-back points for Sullivan from an attack point and now a service ace.
The serve of the game is brought to you by Shakey's. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and Mojo's now. Back-to-back points by the super rookie Monique Sullivan. Access denied for the Lady Blazers. And you'd love to see itong si Zen Basilio. Even yesterday, she had some big block points against the Lady Knights. And now, that forces Coach Carlo to call for a quick timeout.
We made a few errors ourselves, okay? That's all our doing, which means if we clean it up, we get back into the game, okay? That's what we need to do, okay? So make sure that we call the service receive, we clean this first contact, okay? It doesn't matter if this is not tied on the net. It's fine for now. We got big hitters on the front court. It's fine if it is a minute and a half on the net. We play safe. We use our hitters to close the point, okay?
That huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109. Load now.
Coach Carlo emphasizing on going back to basics and really just maximizing that you have tall players in front. It really has to be maximized by your setter, which is Yoan, limiting those errors.
Shut down.
And again, that height advantage, that's Baker to credit for that block point.
Third point already here for Steph Baker, leading the scoring for Southern Storm Melbourne. Although they're still down here by, make that 9 points, Anastasios will struggle from the service area.
Costly error here for Southern Storm Melbourne, already their third service error.
Targeted polecocking that play of speed. Basilio to Borromeo, delayed by the blockings of the Australians.
CSB just doing a wonderful job in guarding that net. Score is now 22-12, so a little bit of comfort when it comes to that lead CSB made in this first set.
So Hillary Hannigan is inserted in for the first time. So some bench players, some spark plugs necessary for Coach Carlo. 10-point game. Yoan, beautiful back set, and that delay of tap by Baker, but a breakthrough hit by Majoy Inocentes.
Her first point in today's game, just using the hands of her tall blocker in front of her to use some wrist action to get that ball over.
Majoy Inocentes had a lethal role yesterday in terms of her services. I think there was this one time, Richie, where she delivered 3 consecutive service aces for her team. But Steph Baker with her 4th point.
Very easy points there for Baker. And you see that mas nauuna siyang pumasok sa bola. And that's what really confuses the players because you don't know her reach and where she'll hit that ball. Sharper serve here. Pump set to Inocentes coming from Basilio. What perfect timing, and that really shows familiarity when it comes to your setter and your quick attackers.
She went up against the tallest player from Southern Storm Melbourne, which is Steph Baker, but unbothered was Majoy Inocentes, bringing her team at set point opportunity. Zen to Grace. That will sail out. One set point saved after that error.
Wider set there for Borromeo, miscalculating the angle she decided on. Baker now on deck to serve for Southern Storm Melbourne.
Short serve. One hand save. Yowon adjusting. Not liking it. The SS with the help of the net. Yowon goes to the middle. Access denied by Majoy Inocentes.
And that net defense will remain victorious on the side of the Lady Blazers as they face the tall attackers of Southern Storm Melbourne.
It's 25-14. The Lady Blazers securing the opening set.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
F2 Logistics. We'll climb mountains and cross oceans to make sure we move your cargo as fast and safe as possible, because your cargo is our business. F2 Logistics. Let's move now.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
(25-14) was our set number 1 score as the Lady Blazers just continuing the momentum they've established from yesterday's win over Petran Lady Knights. So far, just a consistent scoring from the super rookie Monique Soliven, but also Cams Bartolome, their tandem, doing wonders for Coach Jerry Yee's team.
You know, Basilio doing a wonderful job orchestrating and giving confidence and opportunity to all her spikers rather. 25-14 was our final score for set number 1, and for set statistics we have 13 attack points coming from CSB while 7 for Southern Storm Melbourne. Pantay naman dito sa blocks with 3 apiece. Same with aces, 1-1. But what really sets things apart here is that Southern Storm Melbourne had 8 errors while CSB only had 3.
As if they're not down by a single set with how Southern Storm Melbourne is just currently enjoying this ball game, dancing with our Shakey's theme song. Set number 2 is about to begin. This is brought to us by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and Mojo's now. Set number 2, here we go. A much more energetic Southern Storm Melbourne that we are about to see. Seeing an early block point here from the Lady Blazers. That tandem of Bagaan together with Rojo. So may mga bagong players dito for Coach Jerry Yee.
Better activation here for Bella Smith. of Southern Storm Melbourne. So again, what we see here, a different set of players from CSB and more players here for Southern Storm Melbourne.
Tagailo goes to the open.
That is Yeses again, this time on the open side of the court. Score is now 2-1.
So far, Richie, it's only Tomas together with Kylie Yeses, players who started in today's ball game. And Anastasios with a bit of delay.
Anastasios powering through those blockers. You know, I think it's also an advantage that she's being given wider sets, given that nababantayan ng Benilde ang mga palo ng Southern Storm Melbourne. This time a service error. Rojo now on deck to serve.
CSB on top here by 1 point. Coach Jerry Yee would like to test the second stringers on how they will respond onto this occasion. Kylie says Sammy Pilla was there, but there was a net touch violation. Hope Johan is all okay after sacrificing her body to save that leather. Nice to see also Ari Pua back in action here for the Lady Blazers. Ball tap, and they will earn it, led by Bella Smith.
Unexpected there, that drop coming from Bella Smith, seeing that open area of the court of the Benilde Lady Blazers.
So services becoming a problem ever since their game yesterday against UST for SSM. So CSB, despite their second stringers playing here in the second set, they're still controlling this game by 2 points. But Steph Baker, love that connection between Steph and Yuwon.
You know, Baker was our lead scorer for the Southern Storm Melbourne in the first set, and she remains consistent, aggressive when it comes to being set up. Anastasios on deck to serve. Better first ball.
All of a sudden, just a 1 point game.
Net touch violation called on Southern Storm Melbourne. 3 point for CSB. Ball sails out. That point will go to Southern Storm Melbourne.
Moments where you don't want to stare at your coach. For sure, especially that's probably the hatest thing of Coach Jerry Yee upon covering numerous games of the Lady Blazers.
Coach Jerry is known to really establish the basic volleyball when it comes to players. That's really what he prioritizes. So service errors are a no-no for him. At times. Tagailo.
Smith to Sammy. One hand save. Off speed. And that will work for Claire Castillo.
Castillo on her first point rather.
Claire Castillo was also formerly part of the UE Lady Warriors together with Rojo. CSB still in command by 2 points. What a dig by Tomas in that play.
Overreaching called on Southern Storm Melbourne.
3 point advantage here for the Lady Blazers, 8-5.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Three-point lead para sa CSB Lady Blazers. It's 8-5. Running attack.
Baker once again on that running attack. A while ago, we see her being activated on that quick attacks. This time, a longer shot and a wider set, but that still works for her with her reach.
So after earning that point, Baker on deck to serve for her team. This is just a 2-point game here in set number 2.
Beautiful placement of a serve there for Baker. That's back-to-back points, this time from a service ace.
That's a total of 7 points for Steph Baker. 4 points in set 1, 3 points here in set number 2, but sort of jinx it though.
3 free points now for CSB coming from service errors on the side of Southern Storm Melbourne. Castillo on deck to serve.
Pilla. Not the best reception there. Kai. Attack error.
Some difficulty in adjusting coming from a set from the back for the SS.
It's just a 1-point game. Tagailo. Tubagaan. No coverage present. And after that block point by Sammy Pilla, we're now deadlocked at 9.
So better movement here coming from the side of Southern Storm Melbourne. We'll see if they will remain consistent and build momentum in this sequence.
Tagailo to Kai with a cross.
Yes, with a beautiful cut shot. That angle on that ball making it very difficult to defend.
Tagal-tagal na rin si Kylie SS sa sistema ni Coach Jerry Yee, even when she was part of the Lady Vikings or King's Montessori School. With Anastasios scoring that point from the left side.
Anastasios being activated. Medyo nahuli din ng blockers doon ng CSB, allowing her to power through. Better first ball for CSB.
Ooh, too much sauce from that hit.
Free point again for Southern Storm Melbourne. So given that they are second stringers in the side of CSB, this is their time to really shine and give it their all to build the trust coming from Coach Jerry Yee.
Milig setup there by Tagailo to Lieses. Yowan to Hanagan. What an angle.
Hanagan using her wrist to angle that ball properly, seeing that she had blockers ready to defend her at the net. Nakasarado dyan ang down the line. Just really using that strategic flip of the wrist.
It's one of the hardest hits, no, as a spiker. Yung ganong sharp angle na really deep cross, because usually parang hirap din. Minsan nagiging error din yun for some. But that's gonna be the first conversion of Hillary Hanagan in today's game. See, 1-point deficit. Yowan, reverse setup to Anastasios.
Over reception for Benilde and a point for Hanagan. Once again, back-to-back points. It's 2 points already for her. Smith now on deck to serve for Southern Storm Melbourne. Float serve will land right on the line for Southern Storm Melbourne. I credit Bella Smith for that service ace.
5 points for Bella Smith. 3 points coming here in the second set. And we're just halfway through the second. Tagailo to Lieses.
Lieses again on that outside side of the court, remaining to be a force for CSB.
It's Sky Lieses, the NCAA second best outside spiker. Also got that Rookie of the Year in season 100. 2-point game. Tagailo goes to the middle, denied by Steph Baker.
Absolutely no entry there for that perfect timing of Sam Baker.
8 points already for Steph Baker in today's ball game. Three-point separation here for Southern Storm Melbourne. It's 15 serving 12. Want to say hi to Eliza Kidavin watching us here on Facebook. Thank you so much for our online viewers. Make sure to give us a like and a follow to be up to date with all of our announcements, game schedules, some fun content in our official Facebook page at the Shakey Super League. There was another net touch violation. I think that was against Hanagan. So a sense of relief for sure for the Lady Blazers. Yowan unable to connect with Baker in that play. Deep cross, Smith.
Another net touch violation here called on Southern Storm Melbourne.
See here. Oh. We have a challenge here. This is actually the first time that we'll be having a challenge in our Shakey Super League Collegiate National Invitationals. I'm not convinced there was a net touch for Coach Carlo. Let's also utilize this time to say hi to our viewers on Facebook. We have here Mr. Shilome Uwi watching from...
You know, with this challenge, you don't want to take any chances if you're Coach Carlo, knowing that you had the lead in this set and things are now tied up to 15. So as much as possible, if it's your point and you believe that there was a missed call.
They're saying hi here, just smiling, enjoying. I love the energy of Steph Baker. She loves the camera.
You have to love their energy, even from the first set. Losing the first set, they were still full of celebration and smiles, just celebrating each point. Let's see that.
I like how they're all smiling. Look at that. But so great challenge there. They're celebrating for that point.
Everybody jumping up in the air. The point will stay there.
Even Coach Carlo is smiling as they'll be earning that point, getting some high fives to the players as Southern Storm Melbourne will be bringing us to our second technical timeout.
Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
Two-point advantage for Southern Storm Melbourne after that successful challenge earlier in all smiles. They celebrated for that point. That's why they're currently on top here by 2 points.
Hannigan serving for Southern Storm Melbourne. Sharper serve there.
Pilla securing that first leather. Back row hit by Anastasios. Delgado will now be play making for the Lady Blazers.
Good floor defense there for CSB, but that ball sailed out, awarding that point again. And Hannigan will stay on that service line. CSB needing to bump that first ball to their setter to produce a play. But again, victorious as Hannigan scores a service ace.
Just contributing in all departments. Itong si Hannigan earlier, some couple of block points, attack points, and this time a service ace. And now, a 4-point advantage. Freebie given away. Yoan to Pilla.
Pilla finding the hands of the blockers and using it as a tool to get that point. Already her 4th point in today's match. So we see great distribution of balls here coming from Southern Storm Melbourne. Service error here for Southern Storm Melbourne. That's their 6th already in today's set. In the set, rather.
Lucky break here if you are the Lady Blazers, but in a situation like this, Richie, for the second stringers, how do you think can they not waste the trust by Coach Jerry Yee to still continue playing here in the second set despite trailing by 4 points?
You know, I think it's really the confidence that they're showing and the energy they have inside the court going against a taller team. Of course, you need to have some adjustments when you attack the ball and when you defend that net. But yet again, Coach Jerry Yee is giving full confidence to these girls. Of course, that's the trust in his own system and his own players to really grow as professionals. As Southern Storm Melbourne will commit their 7th service error.
Numerous service errors already here for Southern Storm Melbourne, but they're still up here by 4 points. Battle at the net. Delgado reverses, speaking Rojo with a cross.
Easy point there for Rojo. Given na nakaangat, she's really elevated when she approached for that ball.
The Smart Power Up play was brought to you by the new Smart Power All 109. Load now. Earlier, it was Tagailo manning the offense on their side. This time, it's Cheska Delgado. Coming off the bench also here in set number 2. Yoan to Sammy. Cross court. Too much sauce in that play.
Again, a lot of errors here from Southern Storm Melbourne, even though they have a lot of attacks also, making the score pretty close when it comes to CSB.
Reverse setup. Tomas with that dig.
Delgado to Yeses.
Love that coverage from behind. They need that. Rojo. Just that perfect amount of power to fool Sammy Pilla.
You know, easy point. She kind of hesitated if she was still going to jump for that ball. But knowing that she had one blocker in front of her, just putting that over.
This is a 3-0 run for the Lady Blazers, only finding themselves down by 1 point. Coach Carlo will be calling for a quick break.
Points, let's get back into it, okay? Fully focused, okay? Aggressive, fully focused, okay? I think
Carlo, starred by Smart Power All 109. Load now.
That timeout, you actually saw Matichevsky, the team captain, who is sitting outside right now, having more words than Coach Carlo. And again, just the energy has been beautiful when it comes to the girls coming from Australia. Castillo serving for Benilde. Quick finish there for Bella Smith.
Just responding immediately after the timeout. You'd see Coach Carlo smiling, rejoicing after that quick hit.
It's nice because the energy coming from the girls of Southern Storm Melbourne, it's also translated, and it's the same with the energy Coach Carlo has been showing. I guess that's the leadership he shows. Good floor defense and coverage here for CSB.
Yoan. But liking that setup was Anastasios of speed.
Yes, as outsmarting the blockers and defenders of Southern Storm Melbourne, just finding that spot right behind the blocker's hands. She had two blockers in front of her and walang nakabantay for Southern Storm Melbourne.
Just a 1-point game. An opportunity for the Lady Blazers. Almost. Tying things up at 21.
22 serving 20 in favor of Southern Storm Melbourne, with Sammy Pilla on deck to serve. Good first ball.
Delgado to Pua. That was a sharp angle challenging Smith.
That is Pua to credit for on that attack. That's her first point in today's game. So again, Delgado, our second setter, doing a good job activating her spikers.
Yoan reverses Anastasios with her own cross.
Anastasios remaining to be consistent and towering over the blocker's hands.
2-point game here. Almost an ace. Tomas sending a rainbow here.
Net touch violation. And the free point for CSB, inching closer. 22 serving 23 in favor of CSB.
Tough serve from Lieses. Hanagan adjusted with that setup. Lieses from the back row. Yoan. What a dig by Lieses. Rojo from the back. Hanagan down the line. Well read by Lieses at the back. Crucial error for Castillo.
Great effort for floor defense, but ending that point as an attack error. Set point now with Anastasios on deck to serve for Southern Storm Melbourne.
Tomas with that superb reception though. Pilla from the back row.
Ending the set with Pilla attacking that ball from the pipe, finding that sweet spot in the middle.
Now Southern Storm Melbourne is back on track, winning over here in set number 2, 25-22.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
F2 Logistics. We'll climb mountains and cross oceans to make sure we move your cargo as fast and safe as possible, because your cargo is our business. F2 Logistics. Let's move now.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
(25-14), 22-25 is our scores right now. Southern Storm Melbourne pumped up in that second set. It was the second and third stringers of Coach Jerry Yee that played in that set 2, but we saw how Delgado tried her best to really have a comeback game in that second set, but it was the contribution of Steph Baker with a total of 9 points right now. Sammy Pella also creating some damage. So these two players came alive in set 2, kaya nakuha nila at naagaw nila yon kontra CSB Lady Blazers.
You know, the consistency coming from the attacks of Southern Storm Melbourne in that second set really set things apart for them, challenging the defenders of CSB. But we also have to note that they had a pretty big number of errors that they will need to limit, especially now that we are already seeing a different set of players here for CSB. Who quickly activated on the outside part for CSB on that first point.
This set is brought to you by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite in-house pizza and chicken and Mojo's now. That elevation from Anastasios. One hand save. Second attempt down the line. This time will work for Cleo.
Cleo finding that sweet spot. And you just have to love the energy. Again, coming from our girls from Australia.
So Coach Jerry still entrusting the second to third stringers. Play here in the third set.
It's a perfect opportunity for them to shine and, of course, gain more maturity in playing inside the court.
You know, interestingly, tomorrow they'll be going up against each other.
Again.
Yeah, again, because for our semi-final showdown, it's 1 versus 4.
And 2 versus 3.
Yeah, 2 versus 3. So far, itong dalawang teams ang nasa second and third spot. So regardless, UST established that #1 spot after winning in straight sets yesterday. Kanina naman, Letran, winning in 5 sets. So sila, nasa ika-4 na spot dito.
Yes, as with an off-the-block point.
Solid service from Rojo. Sammy. From the back row, scramble defense for the Lady Blazers. Yowan jump sets. Anastasios with that dump.
Lifting violation there for Anastasios, attempting to save that ball. Rojo now on deck to serve for CSB.
Go to the open. Kai with a pickup. Back row hit. Smith securing it. Anastasios with exclamation point.
Anastasios taking advantage of that perfect faster set also coming from Yoan. Beautiful placement there down the line. No, and I love how Coach Jerry Yee really gave a second chance to his second and third stringers here. Just showing how much trust and confidence he has, not just on his girls, but also on the system that he's been creating for CSB. But this time around, Hannigan with her first point in the third set.
Like some contributions here for Hillary Hannigan coming off the bench in set number 2. Bua challenging that net defense of SSM. Kai also sent back on her side. Great ball placement here for Steph Baker.
Quick reaction time for Baker. Getting that drop.
10 big points already here for Steph Baker.
4-4 is our score.
Serve with the help of the net. Lieses. Yoan mis-setting that one. As Tomas was trying to save Kyle Lieses and having an interaction with the leather.
Exactly. And you have to give credit that even with errors, they still try to make fun or just shake things off. And that's why their energy is so bright inside the court.
Almost an ace with the help of the net for Pua. That became a blessing in disguise.
Lucky point there for Pua.
Two-point separation for the Lady Blazers.
Ball sails out. Anastasios on deck to serve.
Setting it straight to Tomas. Lieses coming from nowhere. Yoan. Anastasios with that high push. Cheska. To Castillo, won't go. Tack error there, too low.
Miscalculated that attack coming from Hannigan. Two spikers in front for CSB. Chance for a combination play.
1-2 play. Guarded.
Great
Chance
save
here
there
for the Lady Blazers. Risky save there by Smith, but her teammates are just laughing on the side. 3-point advantage here for the Lady Blazers. It's 8-5 here in set number 3.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Future will rise. Every surf, every spike, hear the crowd ignite. Together.
Just loving that effort coming from our girls from the Southern Storm Melbourne. Good first ball. Yoan setting up Hannigan.
And with the help of the net, she'll be earning that point.
You know, whether it may be a very convincing attack or a lucky one, bet that the girls from Southern Storm Melbourne will be celebrating each point as Hannigan will find herself in the service deck. Score is now 8-6.
Tough serve. Cheska goes to the open in that play. Castillo. Push after push.
Good effort for CSB, but that point will stay with Southern Storm Melbourne. More substitution for CSB. Tagailo inside for Delgado.
She will orchestrate the offense once again. Talking about Tagailo for the Lady Blazers. They're only up here by a single point. Back-to-back points kanina para sa Southern Storm Melbourne. Yowan to Sammy Pilla. Hit guard for the down-the-line hit.
Miss hit there for Castillo. Hannigan on deck to serve. Score is now tied with 8 apiece.
Castillo has been struggling so far on this ball game. 8-all.
Sharper serve.
Reverse setup. Lieses. That will work.
This time a pipe attack, still using the hands of the blockers. ESS, I think the only player from the starter 6 to be playing in this third set.
Yohan Topela over received by Castillo. Chance for another execution here. Tagailo to Castillo once again.
And that touch violation, another error here. Free point for CSB. Bagaan serving now for CSB.
Tough service. Yohan Topela from the open. That will sail in.
Landing right on the line. Let's see that once again. That was Sammy Pilla.
Yeses with that reception.
All efforts here for Southern Storm Melbourne from that attack of Castillo. Finding that perfect accuracy when it comes to placing the ball to the taller defenders of Southern Storm Melbourne.
And an ace for Tagailo. You like her return here in the third set. After she was subbed out in the tail end of set number 2, this time delivering an ace for the Lady Blazers.
Ball will sail out as a service error.
Couple of service errors for both of these teams. And I must say, one of the strategies also for Coach Jerry Yee on why it's the second stringers playing in today's game, because tomorrow it's going to be a semi-final showdown. So as much as possible, you want your core players to not really to exhaust them in today's game, because tomorrow's going to be a bigger one.
This game may also be very strategic with Coach Jerry, trying to read and get notes for how Southern Storm Melbourne has been playing.
Another challenge will happen here. Just a 4-point game. Let's take this opportunity to say hi to everyone who has been supporting us in the past few days, since last week when we had our juniors national invitationals, and then immediately move forward with our collegiate national invitationals. It really gets better each year, from visiting the provinces last year for our golden anniversary, and this time inviting some international games.
You know, volleyball continues to be evolving here in the Philippines, and really in the Shakey's National Invitationals, it becomes a stage, a global stage now to find elite talent in the rising stars for collegiate volleyball. And we have been seeing them here in the previous 5 days of this league.
Still taking their time on what will happen.
Of course, no chances for errors. Always want to be sure of each point.
Earlier in set number 1, Coach Carlo called for that challenge. It was successful. But of course, this could make or break situations in this long lull.
Of course, this call of a challenge is also time for our players to recollect themselves and, of course, strategize and continue to talk about what's been happening in their game, the things that they can be adjusting on. And no touch will be called there on that attack of Pella. So that point will remain on the side of the Lady Blazers. So Castillo on deck to serve for CSB. Good first ball. Johan will set up. Anastasios to end that point.
Like that contribution of Anastasios here for Southern Storm Melbourne. It took a while for that video challenge, but just really quick to get that point for her team, as they are currently just down by 3 points. Anastasios has been one of the consistent girls here for Coach Carlos' team. You like that elevation from Rojo, not the tallest middle blocker. Actually, an all-around player ever since she was in UE.
You know, Rojo has been such a force when it comes to attacking, and it's because of her elevation. So yes, she may not be the tallest of spikers, but her timing is very on point. This time Hannigan trying to angle that ball, but that will sail out, sending us to our second technical timeout.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
Welcome back to the 2026 Shakey Super League Juniors National Invitational South Africa Solo here with Richie Cordero, and right now a 5-point advantage for the Lady Blazers after falling short in that second set. A better showing for the second stringers. Probably mas nakapag-warm up na sila. Mas nakikilala na rin nila ang isa't isa.
That's what you have to love about Coach Jerry Yee, is really giving opportunity. And speaking of opportunity, really embracing her role here. Hannigan was a substitute player in today's match, but she has been performing pretty well, contributing in the second and third set.
I think that's the 6th point already of Hannigan in today's game. Back row hit by Castillo. Anastasios with a perfect push. Tomas, her effort and keeping things in play. Baker easily up by Tomas once more. Kailieses. Wasted chance by Rhea Tomas after that net touch violation. 3-point advantage still for the Lady Blazers. Tagailo to Pua from the right wing. Sammy
Pilla finding that line. Some points to her name in this third set, as Bella Smith will continue to serve.
Send it straight to the net. Lucky break here for the Lady Blazers.
Float serve from Pua.
Yoan goes to the open. Tomas with that dig.
Yes,
Kai.
sasagot.
Tagailo activating Castillo from the back row. Won't go. Hannigan, long cut. Pua was there. Kai, high push. Scramble defense for Southern Storm Melbourne, but they will earn that point.
With all laughter, I think a player landed on one another, but they're still laughing it off. And I guess that just shows how close they are as a team.
Yeah, despite coming from various club teams, one of their first few tournaments as one.
Anastasia serving the sharp one.
Tagailo to Lieses. You like that setup, leaving itong si Lieses without any blockers.
Yes, as ending that run being made.
That Smart Power Play was brought to you by the new Smart Power All 109. Load now. Yoan shoots sets, picking Hannigan. Tagailo to Castillo, won't go. Yoan once more, reverse setup. Anastasios with that long cut, trying to target the corner pocket. Baker will be a playmaker. Castillo again. Smith all over the place. Sammy Pilla. Hannigan once more. Tomas and Smith with that floor defense, but Kyle is exhausted after that hit.
The showcase of full effort coming from both of our teams. Unfortunate ending there by an error. Score is getting closer for Southern Storm Melbourne, as Hannigan will go to serve. Castillo using the hands of the blockers once again, seeing that reach of Baker in front of her is very high. She chooses to have more of an angle for that attack point.
Solid hit there for Castillo. Slowly getting her groove here in the third set. Sammy challenging the defense of Bagaan. Pua with that chase. Freebie for Southern Storm Melbourne. Running attack for Baker. That will not go over. 4 touches was called. This 3-point game, make that 4 rather for the Lady Blazers.
Finally breaking that momentum from Southern Storm Melbourne. CSB will need to remain consistent if they don't want Southern Storm Melbourne to catch up, but that quick attack will end things on that point. Again, that is Steph Baker to credit for that point.
So Steph Baker will rest for a while as Pasioni is inserted in for the first time as a service specialist also. They're still trailing here by 3 points. Great serve. Castillo overcooking that hit. Easy conversion for the Southern Storm Melbourne. All of a sudden, this is just a 2-point deficit.
Ball sails out for Passioni.
And with that, okay, they tried Steph Baker to come back inside, but not granted by our referee. So Passioni will remain inside. He tried to clarify what happened there. Just had a conversation with our first referee, together with Hillary Hannigan. Still a 3-point game. It's 21-18. Yoan Hannigan from the back row. Pua, sharp angle.
Perfect set coming from Tomas to Pua on the opposite side of the court. Let's see that sequence once again. Very sweet spot. Trying to find that space in between the blocker's hands. Change of libero for Southern Storm Melbourne.
This time it's Jess Turner. Her turn to man that floor defense on their side, but Ari Pua unable to get it across. But the Lady Blazers are only needing 3 points to secure the third set after failing to clinch the second one. Tagailo reverses Castillo from the right wing. Successful in that hit.
Castillo had a few points on the open side of the court, and now this time being activated on the opposite side. But no worries, as she will contribute even more. Full trust in this girl.
Yoan to Anastasios. Dug up by Lieses. Hand check won't be granted here for Castillo. Another error. Tomas with that reception. Tagailo to Kai Lieses, over-received.
Sharper set there for Lieses, but I think she actually prefers those faster sets. Working very well for her.
Now the Lady Blazers are at set point opportunity, 24-20. Yoan. What a dig by Lieses. Another error here.
Giving credit to the floor defense of CSB, just unable to finish a point, as Bella Smith will be serving for Southern Storm Melbourne.
Loaded service, giving an easy chance here for Southern Storm Melbourne. Anastasios block out.
Anastasios using the hands of the blockers once again, saving another set point. Lieses also coming from a defensive pattern too.
They're trying to build a run here. Talking about the Southern Storm Melbourne. With back-to-back set points saved, only also down by just 2 points. 22-24.
No room for error here on the side of Southern Storm Melbourne.
Tagailo to Kai Lieses with that finisher. Just a much-needed one stop for the CSB Lady Blazers after 2 set points saved by SSM. They will take over, led by Kai Lieses.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
F2 Logistics. We'll climb mountains and cross oceans to make sure we move your cargo as fast and safe as possible because your cargo is our business. F2 Logistics. Let's move now.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
25-14, 22-25, and 25-22 is our scores right now, and up by 2 sets to 1. Itong panig ng Lady Blazers.
Yung set number 3 was a comeback for the second and third stringers of Coach Jerry Yee, where they really distributed their points, especially the step-up game of Kai Lieses, just really challenging Southern Storm Melbourne to produce the same attack points. But of course, we also had a few points coming from Sammy Pilla, of course, Steph Baker, Anastasios, and Hanagan, who stepped up for Southern Storm Melbourne. For set statistics, we have 13 attack points for each of our teams. No blocks for that set, and 1 service ace coming from Saint Benilde. And then we have opponent errors, 11 for Southern Storm Melbourne and 9 for CSB.
But so far for the Lady Blazers, also a huge help here for Rhea Tomas, the main floor defender here. Certainly, set number 4 is ongoing. This set is brought to you by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and Mojo's now.
Still the same set of players here for Coach Jerry Yee and Coach Carlo for Southern Storm Melbourne. So we really love the exposure the CSB girls are having.
Also some few points that we felt from players like Aripua, Rojo. But right when Coach Jerry subbed in Tagailo to orchestrate the offense once again, I think she also had a better connection this time around. Nakatulong sa kanya yung pag-sit out niya nung tail end nung second set because she knew this time around who to activate, who got the hot hands. But in the sequence, nice net defense for Southern Storm Melbourne. I wonder who played or which players played earlier in that game where they went up against Mapua
right on that line. Oh, sorry, right outside that line. Point will be awarded to Southern Storm Melbourne. 3 spikers on deck.
Reverse setup. Great dig by Yohan Smith. Tomas, as always, consistent. On floor defense, they go to the open. Sammy Pilla, one-hand save by Castillo. Pua, great challenge.
Pua finds the hands of the blockers as a tool. Castillo now on deck to serve for CSB. Score is 2-3 in favor of Southern Storm Melbourne.
Yohan connecting to Anastasios.
Again, that reach of Anastasios and the elevation will really give her that advantage of going through the court without touching the blocker's hands.
Couple of conversions already here for Cleon Anastasios. 3 players with a chance to contribute a double-digit production for Southern Storm Melbourne. Hannigan. Castillo was there for that pickup. They pick Kylie Estes this time. Smith to Hannigan for his second opportunity, rejected at the net.
You love to see that even though CSB has the lower advantage when it comes to their reach, they still give full effort and jump when it comes to trying to elevate the same height as their attackers coming from their opponents.
1-point game right now. Yowan goes to the middle. I like this floor defense also for the Lady Blazers. Everyone just moving on the same page, but unable to control that hit by Sammy Pilla.
You gotta love how much power Sammy Pilla will put in just to give full effort in every attack she does. This time it's Bella Smith on deck to serve.
If you're the Lady Blazers, as much as possible, you want to win in 4 sets. Just continuing how they started or how they clinched that 3rd set, but so far, I think Southern Storm Melbourne will be challenging them further, especially with Steph Baker guarding that net on their side. Lady Blazers down here 3.
Consistent serves there for Bella Smith.
Make this a 4-point separation. Seven serving 3. Sharp serve. They go to the middle, 1-on-1 at the net. Chance here for the ladies in blue. Baker with exclamation point from the middle. She's acknowledging that setup by Yowan. And right now they take over in this 5-point lead.
Now off the screens, it's the first time we see Coach Jerry actually showing more instruction and direction for his girls, seeing that the score has Southern Storm Melbourne leading.
5-point lead here for Southern Storm Melbourne. If you're the Lady Blazers, so we have a lot of things, a lot of cooking things happening here in store for our volleyball fans. This national invitational. So as we talked about, that each year it gets better. May mga bagong pangyayari pala dito sa Shakey's.
Ball game continues as Bella Smith remains on deck to serve for Southern Storm Melbourne. Trying to make the lead longer, but that ball sails out.
And they're not convinced with what happened there. They're trying to go for a challenge. But I think they were opting to go for a challenge for Coach Carl and the rest of Southern Storm Melbourne, but I don't think that will push through here in the 4th. Still, they're trying to finalize some things here for our video challenge. This is a 4-point game. Tagailo to Castillo. They've been inconsistent so far in trying to connect with one another, but Anastasios will be the consistent one.
Anastasios finding the edge here for Southern Storm Melbourne, getting that momentum quickly back on their court.
Still a 5-point game.
Make that 4 for that service error. The SS now serving for CSB.
But here on this ball game, Richie, aside from Kylie SS, who are you expecting or wanting to step up? Especially that they are down by 4 points for the Lady Blazers.
I think Pua and Castillo had a good showing also on our third set rather. So we're trying to see more activation for them, but this time around, of course, Steph Baker is someone to really guard when it comes to being activated on her quick attacks. Hannigan serving.
Just want to say hi to Sir Kim watching us live on our official Facebook page at the Shakey Super League. If this is your first time to watch our volleyball action, this is our national invitational to the collegiate level. You could watch us on pusopi.com, on YouTube, on Facebook. Don't forget, we also have an Instagram page where you could give us a follow. A lot of contents. Even our game schedules, group and individual photos are uploaded there.
Powerhouse attack there from the SS. Single blocker, just taking advantage of it. Challenging the defenders to get that ball up.
It's a 5-point deficit here.
Bagaan still looking for her first point here in today's game.
Nice serve, but sent it straight to Smith. Sammy Pilla. That will sail out for her. Smith with that first ball. Yoan goes to the open. Castillo adjusting. Battles the net.
Better movement and floor defense for Southern Storm Melbourne.
Smith to Pilla. Pua was there for the Lady Blazers. Over-received, another chance as Tagailo will be activating Castillo once more. Pilla from the open. Tagailo. Push from Pua, easy over. Baker with that elevation over-receive, and it's
great reaction time here for Southern Storm Melbourne. Seeing that drop ball defended with an over-reception and quick reaction time there for Sammy Pilla.
Couple of chances na ibinigay ng CSB ay just easy opportunities.
Great placement there coming from CSB right behind the blocker's hands. Yoan setting Pilla.
Scramble defense here between Tomas and Castillo.
Yoan on deck to serve. 3 spikers in front for Southern Storm Melbourne. Pua activated on the outside part. Hannigan failing to bring that ball up. Castillo now on deck to serve. Let's see that once again.
Four-point game. Yoan reverses. Pilla from the right pin, dug up from behind. Pua against Yoan, and she will earn it.
Now if we notice, change of strategy here. Pilla is on the opposite side of the court while Anastasios is actually on the open.
The Smart Powered Up play was brought to you by the new Smart Power All 109. Load now.
Service ace.
3 consecutive points already here for the Lady Blazers, with Castillo delivering a service ace. Down all of a sudden by just 2 points. Coach Carlo will be calling for a quick timeout here.
So far, okay? So let's get back into it, okay?
It just feels a little bit distracted, man. Like, I don't know, like, I just hope we can get close to these last points. That's the early prep. Like, make sure we're getting over the ball or moving out or moving our feet quickly. Remember, we upside down. Let's go. 7.
That huddle was powered by Smart Power All 109 load now. Something they don't want to see with this 3-0 run by the Lady Blazers. That's why Coach Carlo ended up calling for a quick break to gather his girls here.
And I love how it was actually the girls who were talking to one another. And again, from the words of their team captain, remember, we're up, they're down. You have to maintain and keep that lead. But this time around, CSB will remain on that service line, trying to build more momentum to catch up. Difference is now just 1 point, 12-13.
5-point game earlier, but this is a 4-0 run for the Lady Blazers. Yowan goes to the middle. Like this back defense for the Lady Blazers. And they continue this run. Make this 5 consecutive points for the Lady Blazers. 13 all here in set number 4. Yowan. Underhand set. High push. Yes, shut down by Pilla.
Perfect timing there from the blockers of Southern Storm Melbourne. Let's see that once again. Full effort on that attack, pero nakabantay dyan. Just really taking advantage of that height.
But immediately getting that point. So this is a 6-1 run after that solid block point. And unfortunate error. Unable to get that service across the other side. The game scenario here in set number 4, it's actually Southern Storm Melbourne dictating the game. They were up here by as much as 5 points, but right now they're trailing. Correction, we're deadlock at 14. Great save by Tagailo to keep things in rhythm, but no one was there for that third leather.
Better performance here from Southern Storm Melbourne, ending that run made by Benilde.
Reverse setup, they pick Pua. Block out, you like this wise hit coming from Ari Pua, who is just returning after missing yesterday's game against the Letran Lady Knights. Underhand set. And an error here coming from Hillary Hannigan. So all of a sudden, it's the Lady Blazers taking over here by just a single point. It's 16-15 after the second technical timeout. Still here in set number 4. Seeing some new things and stored for us here, volleyball fans of the Shakey Super League. Parang meron na tayo ng mga challenge katulad ng sa VNL. I usually see it internationally, but nice to see how we are slowly upgrading.
Seeing where balls will be placed accurately. Still here at the Shakey's National Invitationals for our second game in today's triple header. Pua on deck to serve for CSB.
But mind you, Aribua helping her team out here in the fourth set as they take over by a single point. But sort of jinx what happened in that sequence. This is just our second game. Later on, hang on tight. It's going to be our final showdown with University of Santo Tomas taking on Ho Chi Minh City volleyball team. Edgley and Matichevsky. It's actually the first time that Edgley is inserted in. Matichevsky is the team captain. Yep, the team captain here for 16 all here and set number 4. And right on cue, coming off the bench, an immediate game changer here as Edgley, who has been the main playmaker in their previous games, immediately announcing her presence here in the fourth. That's Alana Edgley, bringing her team now in this 1-point lead. Back-to-back service aces here, miscalculating what happened there. And no doubt why Edgley is inserted back inside for this ball game. You like how she gave us a different taste of the game. Tomas with that first ball. Yeses with that cross. There's really a lot of players who were inserted in from that second set. Again, it was only Tomas as well as Kyle Yeses who remained from the first stringers. But you like how she really led the way for CSB here in the fourth. Although isang puntos pa ang hinahabol nila dito. There was a miscommunication though. It's 18 all. Over received. Oh, actually an ace there for the Lady Blazers. Kyle Yeses just doing the dirty works here for CSB, scoring from all sides of the court and even from the service area. Now CSB taking over the advantage. 1-point game. Hannigan, top of the blockers, won't go. Tagailo, Castillo, but Edgley was able to secure that first ball. Rejected at the net. Tagailo, not the tallest setter, but you like how Tagailo was able to perfectly time that attack point, supposedly, for Southern Storm Melbourne. Edgley reverses, picking Hannigan, delayed by the blockings of the Lady Blazers. That attack will sail out after that playmaking of Tomas to Castillo.
Costly error there for that attack error. Maybe Edgley can be the bright spot here to change things up for Southern Storm Melbourne.
Agree, especially the back-to-back aces she had earlier, talking about Edgley, but Hannigan will struggle from the service area. And now CSB in the upper hand by 2 points, a chance to secure this win by 4 sets. Edgley shoots sets, picking Sammy Pilla. Nice defense. Scramble defense for both teams. Great coverage by Kai. Tagailo to Castillo.
Another error there for Castillo. Score is now 21-20, still in favor of CSB. But service will be coming from the side of Southern Storm Melbourne.
Passioni is back inside to be service specialist here for her team. They're down 1 after that error by Castillo for the Lady Blazers. It's 20 serving 21. Tagailo to Rojo with a high push. One-hand save, and that dump by Smith will work.
Smith doing everything in her power to really just catch things up here.
$21 all with back-to-back points for the Southern Storm Melbourne. But that will stop the bleeding after that net touch violation. Baker will be back inside. They need a strong core at the net. Again, they are battling for that number 2 spot, but again, they'll be going up against each other tomorrow in the semi-final showdown, but must-win situation. Why? Because they would carry along that momentum with whoever will be securing this win in today's game. 22 all here in set 4.
Cross-court edge shot there for Sammy Pilla.
Tagailo, Tupua, Edgley. Overcooking that hit was Sammy Pilla from the open. And now the Lady Blazers are only 2 points away from grabbing this victory against Southern Storm Melbourne.
Team captain Matichevsky is also inside for Southern Storm Melbourne. Edgley to Pilla.
Tagailo. Tolieses. Defense by Hanagan. They go to the middle. Miscalculated by Pilla, targeting that push, but that will give the Lady Blazers now a match point opportunity. No room for mistakes for the Southern Storm Melbourne. It's Edgley orchestrating the offense against the second playmaker for Coach Jerry Yee, Tagailo. Edgley to Pilla.
Saving another match point here. Sammy Pilla, who will now be serving for Southern Storm Melbourne.
I'm hearing Coach Jerry, or I'm seeing rather Coach Jerry on the sidelines, just having a conversation with Kyle Yeses. They need that one stop, that one perfect reception to go for a finish. And Ari Pua, despite that miss hit, she was able to earn that point from the cross.
Exactly, beautiful placement there for Pua. Although unexpected even for her, ends as a lucky shot just to end this match. But of course, such a great display of talent as well for the Southern Storm Melbourne players, all the way from Australia, landing right before that line.
That's definitely sailed in for Ari Pua. Well calculated despite that miss hit. So the Lady Blazers will win over Southern Storm Melbourne in 4 sets. Just on a winning roll. Etong College of Saint Benilde, huge congratulations once again for their team, and especially for the second stringers, not wasting this trust from Coach Jerry Yee. Of course, in a moment, we will also be meeting our MVP of the match. Final scores 25-14, 22-25, 25-22, and 25-23.
Every heart is taking flight. Shakey Super League. Dream big believe.
Lapit mga katropa, may mga biyayang darating. Ikaw, hindi ka makapili ng platform, pero mahahanap mo naman ang For You. Iba-ibang saya, iba-ibang biyaya. Ikaw, meron ding For You po.
F2 Logistics. We'll climb mountains and cross oceans to make sure we move your cargo as fast and safe as possible because your cargo is our business. F2 Logistics. Let's move now.
New Smart Power All. Choose your Unli and your 5 gig app bundle so you can binge, game, or share it all. Plus 10 gig for all apps and 4 gig of 5G data. Power your next side quest with Smart Power All.
25-14, 22-25, 25-22, and 25-23 is our final score. CSB Lady Blazers with back-to-back victories here in the 2026 Shakey Super League Collegiate National Invitationals. This MVP of the match is brought to you by Shakey's. Order your favorite Team Crust Pizza and Chicken and Mojo Snap.
Kylie SS really became the powerhouse and the most consistent player inside the court for the Lady Blazers, leading her teammates with full confidence and power, ending this match in 4 sets. Congratulations, Kai! Hi, Kai!
Hello po.
Kai, alam natin galing kayo sa back-to-back wins. Kahapon galing sa Letran, ngayon naman against this international guest team. Gaano ka-importante itong momentum na to, especially na bukas semifinals na?
Actually, sinabi din ni Coach na yung game na to para din po sa exposure po din ng iba. And yun nga po, and dalhin namin yung team kahit wala po yung mga core, ganun. And kahit second six lang, kaya lumaban.
At isa sa mga nagpakitang gilas, one of the players who remained from the first six. Kahit baka meron kang gustong pasalamatan yung family mo, go ahead.
Gusto ko sana pasalamatan yung Yeses family and Bunog family po, and sa lahat na sumusuporta sa amin sa Saint Benilde Lady Blazers po.
Again, thank you so much. That was Kyle Yeses, our MVP of the match in today's ball game. Congratulations once again. Let's check out our Smart Powered Up plays brought to you by Smart's Power All 109. Power up your next side quest and get on the TikTok or Facebook. Calls and texts, 10 gig for all apps and more. Switch and load now.
Set number 1 was a very dominating win with the starter 6 of Coach Jerry Yee for CSB Blazers, really limiting the attack points coming from Southern Storm Melbourne, especially when it comes to their defense and their attack points being blocked by CSB. Kita natin noon 25-14, pero pagdating natin ang ating set number 2, this is where and when the second stringers came inside, it was only Rhea Tomas, the libero, together with Kylie Yeses, who remained inside as part of the starting 6. So we also saw some, hard situations that happened para sa CSB. Kaya nakuha din yun ng Southern Storm Melbourne. It was led by Cleo Anastasios on their side. Meanwhile, when set number 3 happened, that's when the Lady Blazers immediately found their footing back. This time around, it is still led by Kylie Yeses, but also felt the presence of Tomas in that floor defense. More importantly, players like Rojo, Pua, paved the way, and Castillo to snatch set number 3. For set number 4, we had a neck-to-neck battle when it comes to both of our squads. We had such powerful attacks coming from Bella Smith, Steph Baker, Sammy Pilla, while also powering over etong si Pua. We had Castillo and of course the powerhouse Yeses to end things up here for set number 4, and of course the orchestration of that floor defense coming from Tomas of CSB.
So College of Saint Benilde, Lady Blazers bagging this victory in 4 sets against Southern Storm Melbourne. Seeing our final numbers,
we have 46 attack points coming from CSB with 44 coming from Southern Storm. 5 block points, while 8 coming from Southern Storm Melbourne. We have 7 service aces from Southern Storm Melbourne and 4 from CSB, and you really see the difference here when it comes to the errors. 42 for Southern Storm Melbourne and only 25 for CSB.
So again, the LaSalle College of Saint Benilde securing the number 2 spot against Southern Storm Melbourne, winning in 4 sets. But tomorrow, they'll be going up against each other in the semi-finals. Coming up next, our final matchup for today, as our number 1 team, University of Santo Tomas, will be taking on Ho Chi Minh City volleyball team.